Today's final season episode, we're talking about the many hats that a home builder wears, whether it's investigator, engineer, accountant, educator, communicator, weatherman, or even firefighter. Every day, we do lots of things. So let's get into it. Starting with project manager, that's probably the biggest focus of all of our day-to-day chores. Let's talk about what a project manager hat looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think speaking of many different hats, the project manager hat is the one that's most associated with the project manager for obvious reasons. It's still a role that is varied. The project manager is on site. The project manager is talking with subcontractors. They're checking plans. They're managing budgets, schedules, those kinds of things. And so the day-to-day of a project manager role is focused on the building of the house,
Right.
And those parts that go into it. But that's really just a small part of what the project manager, not a small part. That is only part of what the project manager does.
Yeah, I kind of think of it as like air traffic controller.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Seeing all the parts from a high level and understanding how they're going to fit together in the future, how they need to be resolved today.
Yeah, coordinated now.
And then reporting on how they performed in the past, right?
See, and I was kind of picturing it as kind of like a three-ring circus, like a ringmaster. Like they're really coordinating all of these different things, and they're standing in the middle of all of this chaos that's happening around them. I mean, I guess it depending on the day.
Well, I would say both of your answers are way more creative than mine.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're right. That is the primary focus of building homes. And whether it's the project manager, assistant project manager, operations coordinator, director of construction, all those entities within a home building company have to be able to manage some aspect of the project.
Yeah.
And it takes a village.
It takes lots of hats.
Yeah, it takes lots of hats, right? So that's great. And I think that we have a great project management staff. I would say whether either assistant project managers or construction site managers or full project managers. They all have specific roles in what they do to get the project prepared, executed and built, and then serviced after construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, the ultimate end result is a beautiful home, but it is the result of many, 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 many decisions made along the way.
Good. What about being the client advisor? Helping the client working through decisions, letting them know what's coming and what to expect. Setting expectations is a critical job of the home builder project manager.
Yeah, absolutely. I think not completely not answering your question, I think one of those advisor type roles is almost like being a therapist, because you have to be a really great listener. You have to understand where the client is emotionally. You have to understand what their concerns are, how to address those concerns, how to help somebody. I mean, our projects can last for years, manage the ups and downs of the schedule, of the budgeting, of all of it, whatever else is going on in their lives during that time. So I think therapist is a hat that we wear sometimes as well.
Yeah, the psychology of decision making. And, you can start to get into who the decision makers are as well. Like, traditionally it would be perhaps the clients, it could be husband, wife, could be a singular homeowner. But often it's more than that. Like there are other decision makers, and it could be that it's actually like the wife and the architect or the wife and the designer that are the primary decision makers, and making sure that you're listening to those unconventional decision makers on a project.
Yeah. If we understand, if it's communicated to us as the builder, what the design intent is, and the client or architect or interior designer says, we would like to consider doing this, then it's our role to say, okay, here are your options. Here's the way we might approach that. Here are the resources that we would tap into. Here are the showrooms we need to visit, et cetera. And then the interior design team, architect team sort of takes it from there, knowing what the cost implications, schedule implications, the timing of those resources might be. And so it's our job to sort of coordinate that decision-making process, that option resolution process alongside those as a support person.
It's our job to provide the decision makers with enough information so they can make a decision. So an informed decision.
Yeah. And I think we also, we say that we don't provide a product, we provide a service. And that part of that service is built through the relationship that we have with the clients, with the architects, with all of these people. And that's built on trust, and trust that we develop through advising people with their interests in mind.
Financial steward. Is this the accountants, bookkeepers?
The green visor?
Yeah, the poker hat.
Right.
The poker hat, yeah.
All right. So, there's a lot to that. Pre-construction, planning, budgeting, estimating, getting proposals, bids, and then putting together a plan with all that information and executing it, monitoring it, their construction, reporting on it. So what does that look like in our world? Give us kind of a view of how that financial stewardship works.
One word, spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Spreadsheets.
Yeah. Quotes and bids.
Yep.
Revisions, Excel documents.
Yeah. No, it does. It goes back to still, it's a lot of coordination, but it really is not only gathering all of the information that applies, financial information that applies specifically to that project, but organizing it in such a way that you can present it, it makes sense to the client, it's coherent, and that if you need to make changes, you're able to do that in whatever format you choose. And I know that there are, we've got different accounting software that is employed in doing all of this, but really at the end of the day, what the client sees is the most important thing. So understanding that that information is accurate and is legible and understandable and is really reflective of what's going on the job site.
Yeah, I think there's one little subtopic here that it's important to cover, and that is that financial reporting is important. And I think we do a really good job of financial reporting. The challenging part is financial predictability and how we can gather all the resources necessary to try to find out how long something is going to take and how that translates to dollars, or how much material something's going to require, translating that to dollars and putting it in an estimate, a controlled estimate that we use as a roadmap, a financial roadmap through construction. And that's hard because our projects are so unique. We've never built the same project twice. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure we've built a project that's even similar to another project.
Yeah.
And so their uniqueness, the prototypical nature of them, yields some amount of unpredictability. And therefore, in our financial modeling for every project, we have to allow for that unpredictability, that uncertainty. And that's just another skill set that we employ or add to our estimating process.
I think also allowing for the creative teams to expand on their vision throughout, like when the build's already started. So that's where you get into those change orders and other, enhancements of the actual build at different stages. So I think when we're looking at some of these bids, I think what works out really well is that we've got these spreadsheets that have formulas and allow us to adapt them in live.
That's right. Real-time feedback on pricing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good financial modeling allows for, if you change one small component, it will interactively change everything that's related to it automatically. Yeah. And that helps.
Yeah. All right. What about your firefighter hat that you were wearing?
Well, I think that's a broader topic I want to kind of wrap up with, and I think it's all these things above that we've talked about above and more. But I do want to touch on one thing first, and that's sort of the engineering concept. So, because our jobs are unique and design challenging, I would say that a good portion of our job is technical problem solving, being able to assemble or create constructible details for one-of-a-kind assemblies. And that requires us to figure out the structure, the enclosure details, the energy management details, and all those things that are impacted every time we make some change in those details. Again, some degree of engineering knowledge or practical experience allows us to work through those so that at the end of the day, the home performs the way the clients and the design professionals expect it to, and it's durable, lasts a long time, it's healthy, it's comfortable. All those things that clients expect require that thoughtful application of engineering knowledge throughout construction. Mm-hmm. So that's, again, another hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and educating the people that are investing in that so that they see the value.
That's right.
That's a different hat.
That is a different hat. Yeah. You have to wear, that's what I'm saying, multiple hats. You got to stack them on top of each other.
So not only using what you're saying is not only using that building science knowledge that we have for our own benefit, but disseminating that among all of our team, the trades, so that they understand how we like to do those assemblies, our staff here locally, and making sure that all of those individuals understand those basic principles that yield better, more durable, longer lasting homes. All right. So let's go back to the firefighter analogy, because I think this explains my understanding of the best home builders. And many people think that firefighting is putting out fires, dealing with emergencies, crisis. Mm-hmm. And that is a good portion of a firefighter's job. But fire departments would argue that probably the more important long-term goal that they have is preventing fires.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah. And so using that analogy is that we should employ what we as home builders like to call critical and logical thinking that allows us to predict and see the way things are going to play out over time. We've used this phrase over and over and over again called building the house in your head.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can effectively do that and build the house in your head, you can begin to see the obstacles that are going to come up, the construction collisions that are going to come up, the adversity that might arise in coordinating trades that are in each other's way or whatever. Sequencing, all those things. And so that prevention allows the project to go smoother, be more cost effective, stay on schedule, and therefore that portion of the fire department's job in prevention, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of
something,
right? So I think
bucket of water. I don't know what is it.
So I think that's kind of the point of the firefighter analogy. Is that sure, because these projects are so unique and prototypical, you can't plan for everything.
Yeah.
There are always going to be problems. There's going to be crisis. There's going to be emergencies. There's going to be obstacles. And we need to be able to think clearly and effectively and draw on our experience, our wisdom,
training,
all those things to resolve problems quickly so that they don't adversely affect the budget and the schedule.
Yeah.
And we do those things, two things combined. Generally, projects go smoothly, clients are happy, because even though we're in the business to earn a living, our ultimate goal is to build good quality homes that last a long time with happy clients and happy design professionals and have something that endures for many, many years that we can all be proud of. That's what makes the job the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So let's think about analogies that are anecdotes that we've run into where on each of our projects, we had to use one of these hats to overcome and manage through. Can you think of anything specific?
Yeah, I think Laura has one she wants to talk about.
Well, I mean, honestly, in my career, I think that I've most often worn the therapist hat, like the psychology, the, truly listening and guiding people to make a decision and giving them the education to make that informed choice, whether it's through very gentle or less gentle coaching, right? So we're talking about, therapist, coach, educator. It takes a lot of skills to communicate when there's a lot on the line and a lot of finances involved.
Well, in interior design, I can see in your past experience where you would have a lot of planning experience, a lot of working through options and choosing options and advising people what works and what doesn't work, what goes together, what doesn't go together. And you probably never even had a project where you didn't have some adversity or problem getting clients to make decisions or feeling good about the decisions they made.
It's the confidence. It's really, that's what the biggest challenge is if the client doesn't come to you confident in the choices, then you have to somehow imbue them with that confidence so that they feel secure in the decisions that they're making for this home, because they're relying on you to see the home before it's built. They're relying on you to be able to build it in your head so clearly that you can put the picture in their mind.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So do you find, having helped clients make important decisions that they'll have to live with for a long time, but you personally have a preference?
Yeah.
Knowing what their design intent is or what their tastes are, you automatically know decision A is the right one.
Right.
But I want them to make that decision.
Right.
How do you guide them to make that decision and feel good about it?
Sometimes it means showing them a bad option. Sometimes it means showing something that I know they won't like, so that you're putting something next to what you know they'll love and be ultimately happy with, next to something that you know.
What if is that ever backfired?
I don't think so, frankly. I think it requires a little bit of like nuance, but no.
But it is, that kind of goes back to what we talk about, is really giving people all the information. And sometimes that information is what's wrong.
Yeah. Show them what they don't want.
Yeah. And explain why.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing this so long. I think back many, many years ago when we didn't do mock-ups. We didn't provide a lot of samples. You know, interior designers, architects took clients to showrooms, and in the showroom, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want this. And the decisions were very much more straightforward. Maybe design trends back then were so focused that the decision spectrum wasn't as broad as it is today.
I think we have such access to so many more resources now that people just are much more aware of the amount of options and that are out there to them. And that doesn't necessarily bode well, which is why one of the most crucial, when you're trying to make a decision between a vendor or a subcontractor or actual selection, giving 2 to 3 options is enough. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, one thing we didn't touch on is a kind of a fun concept, weatherman.
Yeah,
right.
It's definitely an important
In
one.
Austin,
I can't tell you,
Texas.
every morning I get up, I still take a paper, you know,
What is that?
A what?
a paper.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that word.
It's the newspaper in actual print.
Wow.
Right. On the back of the metro section, there's a weather report, right? Here's what's going to happen today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. And I look at that religiously, and I plan my day. I plan my week accordingly. I let the people that I know, the subcontractors, the project managers, hey, looks like it's going to rain Thursday. You guys better batten down the hatches and make sure it's prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have to be in tune with what's going on with the weather because it affects so much of what we do because we work outside. And I think, over the years, you just, like you said, I don't have a paper, but I do look at the weather every single day and always know what's coming up over the course of the next week or so to be able to plan for that. So that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely learning that. And depending on the phase that the house is currently in, you know, how much that weather will affect the schedule.
Yeah, it's critical. I can tell you from recent experience on projects we've got, at least 2 or 3 projects that are very impacted by weather events. So many people think that when it rains a day, you may lose a day in your schedule of production. But the reality is the effects of the weather can delay your schedule several days. So if you have a rain event, and it makes the site too difficult to get into. Vehicles can't get in there without getting stuck or move around, or a lot of surfaces are too wet. to allow materials to stick to them or adhere to them. It may impact one rain event, may impact 3 days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if there's, clay soils and bad drainage, and it takes a little while for it to dry out for the guys to even get there to do their jobs.
I suppose we're lucky here to not have to deal with too much snow.
Yeah, that's true. We can work year round.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't
friends
have,
in
we don't have a
Colorado.
building season.
Yeah, I've had friends in Colorado who can't even excavate for 3 or 4 months during the wintertime because the ground's too hard. Yeah. Wow. Okay, would you want to do lightning round? That's
well, I would like to talk about what hat that I wear.
What?
We didn't get to me. So.
Oh.
Excuse the hell out of me.
Yeah.
All right.
Says I want my turn.
So I think for me, ship's captain, I think sort of in that leadership role, I am in charge of steering the direction of the project and maintaining course. I'm also in charge of coordinating the crews, the team members, everyone involved on the ship that's, working to keep this thing moving in the right direction. But in addition to that, also being someone who sort of establishes the job site culture and the mindset and the morale of the crew, and keeping everybody really invested in the work that they're doing to get us to where we're going.
Yeah, I think that's a great description of sort of what you do. And I think you actually do a whole lot more than that. But it takes someone coordinating all the projects so that we have a good share of resources to distribute equally among all the projects, knowing when each project will need different resources and being able to work with the individual project managers to make sure that happens. And I think you've created the modeling, the reporting, the planning process to make that as seamless. Now, if we keep developing it over time, I think that we will have the ideal model to pull off very successful projects over time. And I think on an even higher level than that, I would say as a home builder, as a manager of a home building company, there are other responsibilities that a home builder has. Just HR, human resource management, making sure that the staff has the resources they need and the career ahead of them that they're looking for, and a path for advancement, as well as all the necessary benefits they need, health insurance. Running a successful home building company is of extreme benefit to our clients because they need successful companies, successful builders that are going to be around for a long time to support them.
Yeah, that's right.
And my role is to make sure that we continue to be healthy, financially stable, and have a productive staff that can generate and create very successful projects. That's our goal. And again, having year after year after year of happy clients, satisfied architects and design professionals is our ultimate goal.
You make sure we're well caffeinated and fed too.
Yeah, well, food and caffeine is part of the fuel that keeps us moving.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Chef's hat.
That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chef's hat.
Snacks, food, coffee.
Great point, Tim.
Great point.
So yeah, well, I think the idea of wearing many different hats literally is quite funny. It's true that we do have to operate within many different disciplines and have many different focuses when being a builder. And so I think that's just worth noting for everyone to understand that we do lots of different things. You should expect your builder to do lots of different things. If not, maybe they're not the best builder for you and they're not keeping your interests in mind, right? Or operating at the level that you expect them to. Any final thoughts on the hats before we wrap up here, guys?
No, I mean, I think that although we're trying to make light of the topic, it is a serious one so that clients and design professionals understand the many, many different resources that we have to draw on and the vast experience that we've got in dealing with building and helping design and planning for and servicing clients in their homes in the long run just requires a lot of skill sets. And we continue to develop those. And I believe being in alignment with the design team and clients that appreciate and understand that is what we seek. And I feel that that's what our clients seek from us, and ultimately yields a successful project.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think my closing note would be that, like, while the visual aids of a hat, it really helps give you the concept of those analogies and what those roles look like, it's a lot of fun to have that much versatility in your day-to-day, to be able to, not necessarily in real life, take on and off hats, but to be able to wear those different responsibilities throughout the day or week.
Keeps it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, great. Let's wrap it up there. Just want to say this is our final episode for season 2. Thanks everyone who's been with us on this journey. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back for season 3 in a month or so. Also, just a quick welcome again to Laura for being a part of the team, and look forward to more of these episodes in season 3. As always, you can check us out on Instagram at risingerbuild_ATX, or reach out to us at hello@risingerbuild.com.